Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Better Call Saul, Season 4, Episode 1. It is called Smoke. Full spoilers for the episode as always, and how nice is it to be back?
It's been a while.
It's been over a year. We've been waiting for the resolution to that lantern being kicked over for quite a while. I say this every time Saul comes back, but I always forget just how smooth it is as a TV show. How just slickly created it is. The cinematography, the way that it moves through the scenes. Like,
It's got a flow in the edit, unlike most TV shows.
for a show that is, a 50-minute. And it's a slow burn. It is a slow burn of a TV show. It goes in so quick. Like,
It does, yeah.
when it hits that end credits, I'm like, whoa, okay, we're done, and whatever. So. Before we get to the main plot of the episode, though, we have to start with the black and white portion of the episode.
Which is another thing that every season I forget we have these, and then it starts like, oh yeah, this.
Yes, with Gene. Gene's his name in these segments. This is post Breaking Bad, and he collapses. He has a medical scare, if you will. He collapses at the Cinnabon, and immediately all I could think was, wait a minute. He's determined to stay out of the authorities. Not even for good bad reasons, just because if he's on the system, if he's put into like a network somewhere, people might come and find him. That's been a big thing. There's been multiple times we've seen in these scenes where he doesn't ring for help when he's locked in the garbage area. He doesn't want to take the little when the guy was robbing the CDs and he was like, no, he's just in there, officer. Just you know, um, he tries not to be noticed as best he can, and he's been taken to a hospital. He's been worked on, and it turns out there's a false alarm. It could just be stress. It probably is stress, given how worried he is about being noticed and found. And I have to say, so what did you make of the scene where he's waiting for the receptionist to put in his details, and it's not working, and it keeps because this is the thing. I knew he'd left his driver's license when he started walking away, and I smiled and went, "This is going to be the next fake out scare. It's just going to shout his name. He's going to be terrified to turn around.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you forgot your driver's license, sir," and it's going to be funny. It didn't matter that I guessed it and I saw it coming. It was still funny.
Yeah. Despite how funny, unreasonably tense.
Oh, very tense.
Like when
Really
she's
good.
typing
Yeah.
that stuff into the computer and it just does the close up on his face, just standing there, just waiting and waiting.
Oh, the best part of it is that one of the shots is it's his face over the top of the monitor. Like you can see the edge of the monitor, and he's kind of like just sitting on the monitor waiting for it. But now you're right there with him the entire time. You're in that moment, that tense. Although arguably not as tense as the next part of this segment in the taxi cab.
I just have to say though, on the receptionist,
Mm-hmm.
what sort of stupid idiot puts an O instead of a zero?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain times when you have to put in a code off of something, and the code will not make it clear which it is, so you have to try both. But when you intentionally know which one you're going for, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Foolish.
I mean, I know they're next to each other, right? If I'm just saying,
Yeah, they're pretty close. Yeah.
they're close, but there was multiple zeros, right? I don't know. I feel like you could have made that mistake that much.
I don't remember his social security number enough to tell you if there was multiple zeros.
I remember thinking it at the time.
Yeah. I actually thought he was making up as he was going along. I kept pausing. Because it was the way he said that I think the last digit was 4. He got to, he's just like, this long pause, like, 4. As if
I think he
just
was just
going
trying
for
to
it.
remember it.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair. So he gets in the taxi cab, and it's all fine. He's still sort of calming down from the receptionist, but he's very, very nervous. And he notices dangling the air freshener dangling is an Albuquerque one, and he immediately gets very, very nervous. And we get that shot of just the driver's eyes. Um,
Yeah.
and I actually saw someone posted. I don't know the actor's name. But there's an actor some people on the internet think it is, and I know the guy's face when they posted the image. I'm like, oh yeah, it did kind of look like him. I mean, that doesn't really tell us anything because he's not been in the show before. It's not like he's a character that.
Or was he in Breaking Bad?
No, not to my knowledge anyway.
Okay.
But he's just an actor that pops up here or there. But this is tense as shit because when he starts saying, "Hey, I'll just get out here," and oh, so it's a green light, you can go. He's like, I'll just get out here. Like, I really thought he wasn't going to be able to get out. I thought the cliffhanger on this little bit was going to be that, no, someone's taking him somewhere, and then we won't find out anymore till the end of the season. Well,
That's the thing. Do we get them at the end of the season? I don't think we do we? It's just the start of the season.
what's funny
Because
is I'm
I,
pretty
I,
sure we had the opposite debate in the finale because we got one in the finale and then debated whether or not we got one at the start of the season.
really? Did we definitely get one in the finale?
I think we
I don't
did.
see. The last thing I remember is the lantern, and it cut into credits on that. I don't,
No,
unless
not
we
at the
got one at
end,
the
at the start
start.
of the episode.
Okay, maybe. Because this is the thing. I thought we didn't, and I'm remembering having this debate last year of do we get? Because I think we thought we got them in both, but we only got it in one, and now I'm not actually sure. It confuses me every year that I can never remember. Because I mean, it surprised me when this one shows up, so it's not really that surprising.
Yeah, I'm trying to inquire into it. I'm inquiring.
Inquiry. Yeah. Okay.
No,
Any
nothing.
luck?
Nothing's telling me when they happen. Or they're all like, "Oh, does it take place post Breaking Bad?" Of course it does. Well, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Nothing's telling me how often. But this is the thing, though. We've had more than. We've definitely had more than like this is more than four, right? This is not the fourth time we've seen this timeline. No
I'm trying to
way.
remember. No, there wasn't one in the last episode.
Oh, you were checking.
Yeah.
Um, this has not been just been the fourth one, has it?
I think it has.
Is it really just been the intro where he went home and watched the videotape? The second one was getting locked in the garbage area. The third one was the guy stealing the CDs and stuff. And then this one. Is that all it's
Yeah.
been? Just those four?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know, for something there's been so little of, I feel like we've had so much more.
Yeah, I think it's because they're quite extended sequences, aren't they? Like this one, it goes on
Yeah,
for
it does.
longer than you'd think. So it feels like because you get like two or three scenes from each one rather than just one scene at a time. So it feels like you get quite a bit, even though they're concentrated into just one piece of the season.
Yeah, I think we have to get more of these at some point, right? Like I think the final let's say season 5 is the final season. Do we get one every episode for season 5?
Maybe, yeah.
Something like that. Something where we get a lot more of it towards the end because it has to kind of ramp up. But regardless,
Just on season five, it's nice going in knowing that we're getting a season five.
yeah, it's already been renewed. We know, and that's why I think it might be the last one because that's why they're saying, hey, we're rounding
Maybe,
this out.
yeah, could be.
Especially, I mean, Breaking Bad was 5 seasons. Well, I mean, I know they split the last one in two, so
We're still five.
it
Yeah.
felt more like six, but yeah, it was 5. Uh, so yeah, I feel like it probably will be, but we'll see. Maybe they'll say differently down the line. But so he gets out the car and he keeps looking back at the car. We never see the driver's face. It's just that again. It's the rear view mirror shot, just the eyes. And Saul walks back around the corner, and he just has to stop and breathe. And he looks back, and that's kind of where we end it. We end it like this is how paranoid he is now. He thinks people have found him. He thinks that because he was in the hospital and he's went through the system, that people are going to track him down.
And he thinks they found that quickly as well.
Yeah, yeah. Which is the one thing maybe you think, oh, he is just being paranoid.
Yeah.
But we're so there with him when it comes to the tension that it doesn't matter. We're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's not until afterwards where you stop and think about it.
Yeah. But no, up until that point, it's working. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
No, it really is. It's so unique in the show as well. I think if we really have only had four of these, they're so memorable.
They are, yeah. Every one I can remember what happened.
They've got such a style unto themselves that is so separate from anything else that really makes them just stand out.
So, main timeline. Saul wakes up with Kim. He makes her some coffee. He's getting, he's eating a giant bowl of cereal. He's looking for a job. I was like, yeah, because I was actually, oh, yeah, he needs to look for a job. He's got a year where he can't practice law. Okay, so he's looking for his job. He's circling these things, which is a very old man way of doing it these days. Let's be honest. The world's moved on from circling the newspaper articles.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is internet's not huge still for him then, right? It's early days.
The show started in 2002, so I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it's
okay.
progressed that far. I mean,
No, that's
I
fair.
feel like it was just last season we were seeing them, roll out VCRs.
Yeah, that's true. Especially since Breaking Bad itself only took place over like a year or something like that, maybe 2 years tops. It wasn't a 5 year thing.
I think it was mostly a year, and then that final half a season where it was flash forward a year was the second year.
Okay, sure. But yeah. The point being is that it's that time's not moving
Right,
concurrent to how we're watching it. It's just
right.
more condensed than that. So, but the phone goes and he ignores it, and then the house phone rings and it's Hamlin, and Jimmy's like, no, let it go, Kim, let it go. If it's important, they'll leave a message. And you hear him like it gets more serious, and he's like, it's about Chuck. And then it just cuts to the house, and the firefighters are all there.
The wreck of the house.
Yes, what's left of the house, and Jimmy's running up and he's trying to get information. Kim's talking to the fireman, and there's that great. After this is all over, and they're sitting on the little bench. They're in front of the house. You can just see the remnants of the house behind them. Is Jimmy? Because I think for Jimmy's side of this plot, this episode, there's a lot of him just being quiet. There's a lot of him
Or
being
is
quiet at the funeral, being quiet. Hamlin's trying to like go through the obituary, yeah, the obit with him. Um, I'll just abbreviate it. It's fine.
yeah.
And then there's him being quiet with Kim, and then she's giving him the shots. All these are really nice slow scenes where you're sinking in the emotion, and you know that the entire time he's thinking, is this his fault? Is
Yeah,
it his fault?
it's probably the most subdued we've ever seen him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is going on all episode, and it's through every single scene with him to some extent. He'll say little things here or there if he needs to, but that's about it.
Mm.
And it's not until the final scene of the episode where things change. And I think it's very notable because Hamlin comes to see him, and Hamlin's like, and much like I think Jimmy's been thinking, Hamlin kind of like says a lot of what I think Jimmy was also feeling is like, hey, we have seen him with those lanterns for the past 2 years. We know he was careful. We know he knew how to use them. I don't think it was an accident.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy got that far as well. Jimmy was also there with him.
Yeah, he's not an idiot. I think he knew.
And then he goes, and so there's some other things about just before that happened that I want to confess, and he brings up, oh, he was being retired, but kind of forced out, and there was also the insurance thing, and even though he wanted to go to war, I fought him on it, and this entire time it's like Jimmy's looking over, and it's almost like he's getting closer and closer to it being more Saul's fault, where it's like, wait, it was it was the insurance thing, it was me, pointing that out. That's what sparked this. It led to his death.
Yeah.
Until Hammond gets to the point where no, I fought him so hard, I drowned him out. This is my fault. I feel
And it
guilty.
almost absolves him.
Yes, and almost immediately, flip of a switch, Jimmy just says, "Well, that's you across the beer, Howard." And then he gets up and he literally starts whistling as he starts making some coffee or whatever. He's a cheery man all of a sudden.
Oh, it's beautifully mirrored to the start of the episode where he's
Yeah.
listening to the jazz while he's circling, making the coffee.
It's like, okay, he found out about his brother, everything went dark. And then the moment he found out that he didn't have to take the blame for this, that someone else could be blamed for it, back to normal.
Yep.
Switch back up. And the look in Kim's face during it, because like I think even though he's obviously was really depressed and he was really quiet throughout the episode, I think throughout all that Kim understood why he felt that way, and Kim was
Yeah.
sympathetic, and Kim was right by his side, literally in most cases. This moment here is the first time she looks at him in horror, like she doesn't understand, and like, what are you doing, Jimmy? What are you doing? So because because we were quite surprised how they ended in such a good place last season, because we really thought everything was going down the shitter for them by the end. It actually didn't. They actually came out stronger, seemingly. At least,
Yeah, not this season. Calling it now.
probably not. I'm not willing to place bets though. Given how sure I felt last season, I'm not going to
Yeah,
place bets.
yeah. Well, I'm going with it. I'm sticking to my guns.
But hey, so now that Chuck's gone though, and Chuck's dead, of course. Which by the way, I loved that he wasn't sure until he turned around and he saw the coroner van
Yeah.
driving away, and he was like, "Oh shit, there it is."
It was a very almost meta moment as well, because if you hadn't been following any of the interviews that had confirmed it, in the past year, it did leave it on some level of ambiguity last season. There was a moment where, okay, is he definitely dead, right? Because we never got we never got as far as seeing the body, which is that's the rule.
Which, to be
Uh,
fair, we've still not seen a body, just for the record.
Well, we've not, but if you saw a coroner van, and same principle here.
Yes.
But it was a nice little moment of it. Just kept it in suspense, and then if you didn't know, right, you find out at the same moment as him.
Yeah. So no, that worked well. But his reaction to this, that him like absolving himself, I think it says a lot about his character and a lot about how he he can't just process things. It's kind of like how the entire show, he's felt like this just warrior whenever he's been fighting against HHM, whenever he's been, manipulating Chuck's paperwork to, get him into trouble. All that stuff, even though he knows it's technically wrong, he's always seen it as, no, it's HH&M's fault, it's Chuck's fault, because they're forcing me into this by what they're doing. He never takes responsibility for himself. And we saw glimpses of him maybe trying to starting to accept that, with the old ladies, when he fessed up last season about manipulating them, and it kind of ruined his chances of working in, elderly law again, but it was kind of a noble gesture. It was like, oh, maybe, because that's when we thought he was going really down the toilet in terms of his character. Because we thought, oh, now that he's manipulating these old ladies, it feels dirty. It feels
sketchy. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he kind of realized that, and he kind of owned up to it, and it was like, okay, well, maybe he's fighting his way back. But this to me is just another cycle in the pattern for him. I think, to me, is that as soon as he can blame someone else for it and it's off his shoulders, he does so.
Yeah, I think it's really telling that he doesn't actually care about the death of his brother. That's not the thing that's bothering him. It's just the personal guilt that was affecting him. Because he's still dead. He should still be mourning him, but as soon as it's not his fault, he's fine. It's like, okay, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say he doesn't care about his brother's death, or at least, I mean, maybe he doesn't now, given what's happened over the last couple seasons. I do think, a season and a half ago, this would have been a completely different.
It would have been very different.
Discussion.
But given where he is in their relationship,
I think I'd argue he still cares. He's still shocked by it at first, but he's so relieved to not be to blame for it. He only cares enough that the relief of this is completely washed out.
It outweighs it. Yeah.
I think that's what I'd say, rather than just doesn't care at all. But yeah,
that's fair.
But no, it's fascinating stuff. So I mean, that's basically all I saw stuff in this episode as that, but it does a lot for his character.
Yeah, it's very straightforward in terms of what his scenes actually are, but it conveys a lot.
Yeah. Mike, of course, we follow his plot as the second main pillar. There's actually kind of three now, because Nacho's kind of, last season he kind of started to get his own plot, really, beyond just being part of Mike or whatever story. So
yeah, and obviously he's still going here. He's definitely the smallest element, though, of the three.
Yeah, it still feels a lot more prominent than they used to, though. It definitely feels like his own storyline, as opposed to just part of Mike's or whatever, It's It's definitely the C plot rather than just part of the B plot, if that makes sense.
It is, yeah.
But Mike gets his first check, because we know that he's given up his job. There's a quick scene of him leaving his booth for the last time, and he gets the first paycheck for like 10 grand. That's his monthly salary. As they're funneling,
and he's like, "This is all right."
Yeah, funneling back the money that he earned in big lump sums, and then he's sitting there watching the TV, and he just can't.
He's bored.
Because well, maybe he's bored as well because he's Mike. But because at first I wasn't sure. Does he not trust them? Does he want to check out the place that they're are sending him these money? Does he want to know what they're doing? Or is it just a case of he wants to understand what it is, so that when someone asks him what his job is, he can actually describe things properly in case anyone looks into it, or whatever. But ultimately, by the time we get to the end of the story, he just couldn't not do the job he was being paid for. Even though it's his money that's been funneled back to him, he just can't do it. He has to go and feel like he's earned the money.
He's too honourable.
Yeah, that's it. That is basically it.
As I say, where I say he's bored, I feel like I do think he is restless. He always likes to be doing something. He's always been, the only times we see him doing nothing really are when he's sat in that booth. And it's been they probably
trapped
killed
there.
him.
Yeah. I don't like the word bored, because that implies he's just doing it because he wants to do something. Whereas I do think there's more honor in it than that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I think Mike has more honor than that.
But if it wasn't this, he'd be doing something. He wouldn't be just sat, because he could be getting paid and sat there doing nothing, but he just can't do that. He has to be doing something.
So because we get this scene with this guy we've never seen before with his kid, and he gets into his car and his car won't start, and he's looking for something. We don't know what he's looking for. He's just like, oh, I can't find it. Where the hell's that thing? And if he calls into work, I'll be late. My car's not starting. Blah blah blah. And obviously we know it's going to connect to something somehow. We just don't know what yet. And then it cuts to Mike waltzing into the guy's work with his ID badge, and it's and they don't look the exact same, but they're both like bald. They're both white. So it's like at a glance you might just think that that security pass was his.
Yeah.
And we get him just walking around the offices, and he's in the little break room, and there's two guys debating Muhammad Ali versus Bruce Lee,
It's a good, 3-minute debate they're having in the background here.
And it goes on so long where Mike has to like get into it. He's like, "Wait a minute, does Bruce Lee have a gun?"
He kind of just rolls his eyes and like, no, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, no, he has to interject. Um, and yeah, it's just really, and he signs the birthday card for one of the co-workers. And it's just
Yeah.
it's this whole thing. And he goes into the warehouse. And actually, before we move on, where do we stand on this? Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali. Where are you landing on it?
Muhammad Ali, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I can't fault the logic.
Yeah, he only needs to land one punch and that's it.
Yeah, but is Bruce
And
Lee
he
quick
can,
enough to dodge them all?
well, no, this is the thing. He's quick and he can dodge a lot, but I think Muhammad Ali can withstand a lot as well, right?
Oh,
So
sure, yeah.
he can take quite a beating and
He
just
can take a
wait
few
for an opening.
kicks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, okay. I maybe disagree with Mike's time though. He says, "Oh, you'll be down in 3 minutes." I don't know. I feel like it's a war of attrition.
Yeah, I think maybe 4 or 5. Just wait, just long enough to get tired enough to get one punch in.
Let's be honest though. This is a superhero movie in the making. This is they team up to take on the bad guy.
It is, yeah.
By then, and they both have to learn from each other. Like Muhammad Ali has to learn to like dodge a bit more, I guess, and Bruce Lee has to learn to like hit harder. I don't,
Sure, yeah.
I don't know, but this is the thing though. Just a bit of trivia here about Bruce Lee is that in Enter the Dragon they had to slow down the film because his punches and kicks were too fast because you couldn't see them on screen. That's how
Yeah.
fast that man punched and kicked. So just for
Is crazy
reference,
fast, yeah.
yeah, crazy fast. And apparently I mean, obviously, I'm sure they put it in afterwards anyway to get proper recordings of it. But apparently, the actual whiplash sound effect of his punches was actually like a thing. Like you could hear the sound break when he
It's
punched.
terrifying.
I know. Anyway, so Mike goes into the warehouse. I'm not even sure what this company does. I didn't quite catch what what their business was.
They were in the warehouse. They were offloading stock, right? They were, just loading up a van almost, like sending around a
Yeah.
van.
Stock of some kind. I don't know what the stock was though, but he gets a little cart and he's like driving around in his vest and he's checking things. He gives some guys into trouble. Hey, get your belts
Lifting
on.
belts,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he goes around. And I'm like, okay, where's he going with this? Is it because I'm still thinking, is he just trying to like figure out like what exactly they are? Are they shady? What do they do? And then it cuts to him talking. I mean, it cuts to the real guy is in there now, and he's got like a temp pass on, and he comes up and hands it. He's like, "Hey, I think this is yours. You dropped it somewhere." And then I'm like, "Where's this going?" And it cuts to him talking to the manager of the place. He's like, "Yeah, like I waltzed in here with one of your other guys' passes. No one even stopped me. You've got all these." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. He's a security consultant. He's actually doing his job."
Yeah. The only thing I don't get is, the in the warehouse telling them
Yeah.
to put the lifting belts on. That's health and safety, not security. That's just
It's,
because he couldn't help himself. That's the
that's
point where
fair.
I'm like, no, that's just he can't help himself, but make sure they're
Hey,
doing it right.
yeah. If there's one thing we know about Mike is that he likes things to be done properly.
Yeah,
That's very much a
exactly.
Mike thing, and I feel like that's what that was. But I actually get this big grin across my face as I realise, no, he's literally just doing the job that they've said that he's doing. He's
Yeah.
been a security consultant, and he's giving this guy shit for like all these things, and no one even checked me. I walked in here with some other guy's pass, blah blah, and I'm like, huh, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
And the guy's like, "Who the hell are you?"
and he's like, yeah, check with corporate, check with Lydia,
Yeah.
just do that. And obviously I respected Mike anyway. By the way, one of my favourite things about this show is when we just get like extended scenes of Mike doing something and we don't know what he's doing until the end.
Yeah, yeah. We've said it a few times before, but
Yeah.
it's always satisfying, isn't it, when it kind of clicks into place?
There's something so captivating about him just going around and doing something with his hands. Like he's got a plan, he's got a plan, and he's looking around and he's fidgeting with things. And
I think that the most impressive thing is it's always kind of mundane looking, right? He's not doing anything complicated.
yeah,
He's like you say, he's walking around, he's moving a few things here or there.
but you can
It's
see the
nothing
gears.
complicated.
You can see the gears turning in his brain though.
Yeah,
Something's going on, and it makes it really interesting. The one I always go back to is when he switched the tracker on the car. And there's a moment where he's like looking through the car and then he goes into the shop and he checks the cap and then he goes out and checks the cap again and that's where the tracker was. And then he puts another tracker in the car and he switches it, and like it was a big, that was like a whole subplot one episode last season,
Yeah.
and the whole thing lasted but it was so good because every single step he kept just not quite getting it until a moment where it clicked. And he went, "Oh, I know, I get it," and then it kept going, and it's like, "Oh, what's the next part of this? Oh, now I get it."
There are some great, like the one where he set up the ambush for the drug van.
Yes, yeah, the ice cream trucks, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, like it just goes on, and you're like, what's going on? And then you get it, and then more happens. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
They always
Uh,
have some great music over the top of them as well.
yeah, because they're usually pretty silent,
Yeah.
outside of one or two little lines here. But so that was, I mean, that was Mike's plot.
Yeah.
So
Again, I think it's crazy how simple the plots boil down to when you do break them down like this, but just how much you get out of it when you're watching it.
yeah, I think a big part of it is the directing. It's how it
Yeah.
makes it. It's how the pacing of the scene, the unraveling of what he's doing is really intelligent writing and directing. And of course, let's not shortchange the performance in the middle of it, which is kind of selling the,
Of
like I
course,
say,
yeah.
you can see the gears turning in his head. Like, you don't
Yeah.
get that without the actor pulling that off somehow.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I wonder what the direction is on set. Hey, can you make the gears turn?
Do you know what they do? They just throw him a really hard maths question.
Yeah,
They're like, solve this while in your head, solve this while you walk around. You just see him there going, just thinking about it.
I think right before I take once, I want someone to go up to him, right, just right before the yell action, just go up and whisper in his ear, "What was it like to be in the movie where the guy yells diplomatic immunity?" And then just walk away. Because he was in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he was in that. He wasn't. He was one of the. I think he was one of the henchmen. I'm sure. Which is
I
funny
think so.
because Hank from Breaking Bad was in that movie. He was one of the cops in that movie.
Was he?
Yeah,
Been
but
a while.
unlike Mike though, he looks the exact same in that. He's like he's had that same look, same shaved head
A while.
for
Yeah.
for decades. Whereas Mike did have hair once upon a time. Maybe I'm thinking of the first Lethal Weapon. He's definitely a henchman in one of them.
Yeah. I'm sure he is.
I'm sure he is. He's got hair. He looks really different, but it's Mike. He's there.
Yeah.
So final plot, Nacho. Nacho, picking up. Obviously, we have the stroke, of course. The stroke, of course. And Gus clearly knows what's going on. He's like, he's looking
Keeps
at him.
looking over, doesn't he? And when the people they go, oh, right, well, is he got a history of heart problems? Like, yeah. Is he on any medication? Oh, yeah, these. And he hands it, and you just see his eyes just narrow in on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not maybe obviously it's overshadowed by the black and white stuff and whatnot, but there is some tension here as he tries to dispose of the fake ones, the poison ones,
Yeah.
in the it's like there's a little like bit. There's like a hole in the grate. There's like a little grate, but there's like a little bit that's from the corner that's just been cut off, and he's just trying to slip it in. He doesn't quite get to it, and they go see the local boss man to talk about what they're going to do with Hector not being in the picture anymore. And they bring him in and they're like, "Hey, you're going to be running this place. You two are going to be running his turf. Everything goes the same as it did. There's going to be a shipment. You guys aren't getting promoted, but if you do well here, it'll go. Your future's looking bright if you take care of this whilst he's out of action, and whatever." And of course, Gus is just watching him, just with the keen eye the whole time.
Yeah.
And all amounts to a scene where he goes out to a bridge to dispose of the pills, and he pours them out, and he pours out everything that had to do with them, the container, everything, the excess ones that he had, all of it goes out of the water. And I'm like, I feel like I would assume that I'm being watched all the time, so I would try and do this more discreetly. But he literally does a big swing at one point and throws it into the river. And all I could feel is like, oh, if anyone's watching from a distance, it's very clear you're throwing things in.
Yeah. Yeah. All you need to do is just walk up to the edge, just let it go.
Yeah, just let it go. Yeah, just let it casually slip out your hand.
Just lean on the edge, and then just let it go.
And of course, Victor is watching from afar.
Yeah.
Who obviously works for. Well, he works for. Does he currently work for Gus? I can't remember if he was already working for Gus last season. Someone can fill us in.
I want to say yes, but it's been a while.
It would make
so
sense.
maybe not.
It makes sense that Gus sent him to watch as well.
Gus wants verification of his
yeah.
suspicions.
Yes, and if so, and we know he doesn't like Hector, so I feel like he's probably going to be a big fan of Nacho. Should his suspicions pan out, which we know they will.
This is the thing. I can see it going either way. Where, yeah, he's not a big fan, but this was, it's not his plan. He doesn't like not being in control of what happened, right?
Yeah, well, that's where he brings him in because that's the thing with Mike is he respected how good Mike was and he brought him in
Yeah,
and offered him to be part of the system that he was running. And I think he
that's
might
true.
do the same with Nacho.
No, I can see it.
Be the cheese to his Nacho.
That was awful.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? If I was called Nacho, I would totally get a protege and call him Cheese. I'm Nacho and this is Cheese.
I just have no words for this.
And then if he gets a protege, it has to be Salsa. And so,
And so on from salsa.
so
Where do you go?
sour cream, guacamole.
Oh, oh.
There's a whole line of dips and stuff you can have for nachos.
Jesus, I can't believe we're doing this.
And if you run out of dips, you start using some words that you can swap in for nacho, like Dorito, for example, or I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying. I think Nacho's got a lot of potential to make some good puns and collective naming systems with his friends and buddies.
All I'm saying is I respect that Nacho never bothered doing this shite. Just I immediately like him more now.
All right, well that's the Breaking Bad premiere.
Just something
Oh,
that we
go on.
want to as well is Gus's conversation with the boss man.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, after he has a little speech. It's like it's only a matter of time till someone makes a move. Now that he's out of the way, someone's gonna try something.
It's going to be Gus.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm
You don't think?
thinking behind. I can see him going. Well, someone's gonna, so it might as well be me, right? But it's a warning. He says, there's gonna be war. That means chaos. That means DEA.
Yeah, they're worried about that. Yeah, it'll attract the
And
attention of the authorities.
and I don't think he definitely doesn't want that. So I think
Oh,
that's
sure.
the reason why he doesn't want to go to war right now is it's not worth it to bring that in.
Yes, but we know from Breaking Bad though that Hector hates Gus and blames him. Sees
Yeah.
him as his enemy. So obviously, but he has to do something to Hector at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're getting to that eventually. So no excitement, and we've stayed away from the interviews and stuff and whatnot because I know there's been teases about where season 4 might be going and stuff. We've stayed away from it. We'll be watching and discovering through the show itself. We'll keep it that way. So find that in the comments.
I've not seen anything since, within the couple of weeks of the finale last year. I
Yes.
saw some of that post season 3 stuff.
Now the only thing I've watched is just earlier today for funs. Was it Variety? Vulture. I don't know. They had the cast, the five of the main members of the cast, recap the first 3 seasons. Which even if you don't need the recap, if you remember everything, it's still fun to watch just to see them like in 10 minutes like rattle through all the plot of all 3 seasons, and they have fun with it. It's worth watching. So
Fair enough.
let's check it out. But no, so. That is the season premiere. So we're in for Saul for another 9 more weeks. We are excited. Obviously, this review is a little bit later than it normally would be. This is Wednesday we're recording this. Normally we'd be getting to these reviews on Tuesday. Connor's work schedule is a little bit weird this month, so it is entirely possible that some other reviews this month might be delayed till Wednesday as well. But we'll be trying to get them to them on Tuesday whenever we can, and hopefully we'll be back to that on a consistent basis get into next month. So, but that is the current predicament we're in, so bear with us for now. But that is Better Call Saul Season 4, Episode 1. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. Of course, if you want to support the channel, these reviews, and everything we do here, head over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, and you can do that over there. For $1, you can support us and keep things going. If we can't do that, though, of course, you can watch the ads on YouTube, turn your ad block off, let them play. That is a huge help. You might not feel like it is, but it actually is. You can, of course, comment, like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. All of it helps. But that is it. So thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. You can get these reviews now on the Almost Cancelled audio feed. There's a review audio feed. There'll be a link in the description to that as well if you want to check that out. Because it didn't exist last season when we were reviewing them. But all the old episodes we did are up there now too. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?